Alright, welcome to episode 3 of the Old Navy 52 Chevy truck build. First of all, I want to say it's probably pretty obvious that I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm just doing this on my phone. So like when I'm doing these, the audio's not really good. You may have to turn it up and then turn it down when I hold the camera. But you know, I'm just doing this to show what I'm working on, and if people are interested in watching, they watch it. So in this episode, I hope to get the fuel filler installed. We're going to run it from the fender down to the fuel cell. We don't want the filler in the bed. It's just, I think that's awkward. I've never been a fan of that. So I'm also hoping to get going on the exhaust, but we'll see what happens. So join us and see what we get done. Thanks. So here's what I have so far. Got the neck, filler neck welded to the new top for the fuel cell. Put a bead roll there, so a rubber hose will go in here. I'll show you how I did that bead roll later. But this brace has got to be modified. You can't drop the fuel cell out with that there, so I'll have to cut it probably in here and bring it up over the top. I think I'll have room for that. So here's what this kind of looks like. I tried doing all my welding on this side. I clean it up a little more, but it's plenty strong, and it'll, as long as it's sealed, that's the main concern. But yeah, I just got to modify that brace, and then we'll work on this part here and bring it through probably go through right about there. And I don't know if I'll have to make a notch in the frame. We'll see about that. Alright, so there's the gas cap filler neck. I just made this plate to mount here into the fender. So the plate will go up underneath. So all you'll have sticking through is just the cap. I got that taped up now to protect it. Yeah, it makes a nice solid mount. I think that's a good location, easy to get to, and not too obvious sticking out. Now I just got to get the tubes hooked up to it and weld this to the plate and weld the tubing to this. Alright, so here's what we got so far. I still have to notch this and bring it up over the top. Yeah, we're going through there. I got thickness of the wood there to clear that. Just going through the bed side there. And then that's the filler on the fender. And I'm going to have to get another hose to look underneath here to get one more hose to make that splice there. But otherwise, that looks like that should be it. I think that'll work. I'll probably add a ground wire going from the top up there where the cap is and bring it down to the frame. And then I probably will ground the fuel cell also, because that is sitting on those rubber pads. So I kind of want to make sure we got everything grounded well. But yeah, just got to get that hose, and then should be one more step complete. So I wanted to get started on the exhaust, and this came with some nice Hedman S10 swap headers, but they had no collector pipe to come off the header to go into the exhaust. So I was looking them up, and I'm running 2 1/4 exhaust instead of 2 1/2, and I could not find a ball ball flange, 2.5 inch to 2.25 inch. So I ended up buying these Walker parts, cutting them off, cutting the flanges off, and making my own flange. So now I can start on the exhaust. Yeah, had to make my own. I mean, I looking and looking, couldn't find them. I had this from another set of headers to use as kind of a pattern, but this is a gasket, not a ball. And those are for another set of headers. So when you can't buy it, you got to make it, right? Here we go. So there they are. There's the passenger side. And driver's side. I don't know if I showed this earlier. I did put a little notch here in the frame. Don't know if I really needed it when I did the motor setback, but you know, just gives a little extra clearance right in here. And this can be turned too when I do the exhaust. Also might want to take off the ear on the tranny here if I can show it. It's pretty tight there. Might take that off, although that's fine. I mean, the headers move with the motor, so but this is was more of a concern, but that should be plenty of clearance now. This motor ain't gonna rock in there. So yeah, ready to start running pipe, welding it up. I might have to order up a couple more mandrel bends. We'll have to see. Alright, got some progress on the exhaust. So this is the passenger side, just tacking things up. Got this nice and level. Comes off this side really nice. Go over to the driver's side. That side's the one I don't like the way the header ends up. The way it points down, but I had to bring the pipe back up to get level. So when I measure underneath here, I'm 63.5 inches from the ground to that pipe and from the ground to that pipe. So nice level. I'll be over the top of the tail shaft here with the X pipe ending up probably right about here. And then splitting and going through the back side here. Pardon my camera work here. Just doing what I can, man. But yeah, so we're nice and level. Clearing the top. So next thing is to bring the pipes back, probably about to here, and that'll meet the X. And get that installed next. All right, so I got the X pipe in. This side here got a little funky on me, trying to step it back up to the height of the other side, but it still looks pretty good. I can move this out of the way. Yeah, came out pretty decent. Now, I'm looking at this cross member here, thinking I might remake the cab mount cross member here. I'd like the exhaust at the height it's at. Afraid if I suck it up, get it off this cross member, the mufflers are gonna go right here. I'm getting it pretty close to the floor pan, might create a lot more heat in the cab. Right where it's at, I think is pretty good. So I'm pretty sure he's just got this thing tacked on. And I think these are just sitting on top. There's no bolts there. The only bolts are here in this center. There's 2 bolts up under here. So yeah, I might just remake that, bring it out right across here. Or maybe even if I reuse this piece, I could set it right on this. And then just build taller mounts. thinking about it, but I think that's what I'm going to do. So I like where the mufflers end up and where the X pipes are. I'm gonna be able to shoot right straight out between the shock and the fuel cell. I'll have to move this bracket for the brake line, but otherwise it's a nice straight shot right out, right where they ended up. I got lucky on that one. So yeah, I'll do some more thinking on this cross member and we'll see where it goes from there. So I got the exhaust all mocked up. Right now it's kind of touching the bumpers, but I got to put some more hangers in. There'll be a hanger coming off of this cross member right up here on each side, coming down, and that'll help with that. So we follow it up to the front. So I'll put a hanger on this original cross member for the S10 frame. So that hanger and then the one back by the fuel cell will support this back half. And then I need to make a hanger off of this cross member, which I did have to redo the cab mounts cross member. He had this sitting flat down here on the frame, and it was just in the way of the exhaust. I didn't like it. I wanted to set it down here, but then the mounts got really tall, and then I was in the way of the drive shaft. So I actually bolted it, reused this piece, bolted it right up to the mount for the cab, and then I just added some pads on each side where the bumpers, there's rubber bumpers mount to the bottom of the cab, sit on it. So yeah, I'll use this, put a hanger to hold this up. And the way I'm going to have it set up, you unbolt from the headers, and this, unclamp. I'll use a band clamp on here, so the mufflers will slide off, and then this whole X pipe up to the headers will come out as one piece, and I'll probably weld the mufflers here, and then the tail mufflers back will all be one piece, come out. Yeah, it came out nice and level. I was really happy. I had to come back up on that driver's side because that header is pointing down so low. But once I brought it back up, I got it the exact same level, side to side, and just everything straight all the way back. Came out really good. So yeah, it should sound good. Just 305, but it'll have a nice little tone to it. So I think this is going to be all for this video. I still gotta finish welding everything, and I'll clean them up and I'll paint. Put a little paint on the welds, but looks all right. Should sound pretty good. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in the next video.